It's funny because some people talk about how I mentioned a couple of videos ago that some people say, well, your energy is going to determine my energy, while at the same time people talk about keeping control over their own energy. So you have to pick one. I strongly suggest you do the one I'm going to tell you about right here, which is what we call energetic sovereignty. That means having complete control and ownership over how your energy is used, when it is used, where it is used, why it is used, how it is used, and even if it is used. Let's talk about it. Understand that frame is the battlefield of presence. Frame means what is the basis upon which this energetic exchange is happening. Every time you exchange energy with another human being, even if it's just eye contact, someone is controlling the frame. When you have a conversation, someone's controlling the frame. You talk to your spouse or your coworker, someone is controlling the frame. Frame is the battlefield of presence. Who has more presence is controlled by who controls the frame. You allow somebody else to change your energy, they're controlling the frame. Even if you have more power than them, even if you cuss them out or beat them up, they still are controlling the frame because you're doing something because of what they made you do, not because of what you made them do. So reaction, every reaction you give, you're giving authority to whatever or whomever caused you to react because they made you do something. You didn't make them do something. Moving on to point number 2, understand that stillness is a dominance signal. Think about an alligator before it attacks or a lion before it attacks. You ever seen an alligator or a lion fidgeting? You ever seen it shifting its weight back and forth? You ever seen it tapping its fingers? You ever seen an alligator or a lion checking his phone every 10 minutes because it has nothing else to do, or 10 seconds like many of you do? Those are all fidgets, and fidgets are the opposite of stillness. Stillness is a dominant signal. When someone is alert and aware, but they're still, that is a show that they're dominant. Why? Because none of their energy is leaking out. It's all contained within, and you can tell this without them telling you. When you are calm in chaos, you become the leader in the room, even if you have the least status in the room. And this is not passivity. Many people will read this and say, well, that's passive. No, that's not passive. It's control. Being in control of yourself is not passivity. Not being in control of yourself is being reactive, and that's even worse than being passive. And number 3, reactions are leverage points. In other words, every time somebody does something that causes you to react, it tells them what your buttons are. Everybody heard that? Pushing somebody's buttons or pushing my buttons. That's somebody doing something that they know makes you react. And every time you react to something, you're signaling to everyone else, this right here will cause me to react, which means it's only a matter of time before somebody else does it to you because they know it forces you to react. They know where to push. When you give no reactions at all to anything that anybody else does, any of their provocations, guess what? The game's over because there's no button that they can push that can make you do anything. You know what eventually people do? They stop trying. They leave you alone when they know they can't force you to react. So understand that when you own your frequency, that means you own your power. Understand that ownership and power work together. If you want ownership of something, you must have power. You want power over something, you must take ownership. So when you take ownership of your frequency and your energy, you automatically have power over it. And when you control yours, you'll be able to control that of others, because most people have no idea that any of this concept even exists. Text the word power to the number in my bio. You want to learn more. Work on your game.